Okay, I think that's better. Hopefully you can hear me. You know, this is where I'm not always logical. When I was plugging in my camera a few minutes ago, I noticed that I had left the sound on. And I thought, well, I just killed a battery, right? That's what I was showing you, the little pack of batteries that fit for the microphone. And so I turned it on and it showed volume. I thought, well, I don't know. I would have thought it'd be dead, but okay. But I said, get out a pack of batteries and put them handy just in case. Now, Mark would have said, even though when you first turn it on, it shows it has power, don't believe it. Change the battery. Oh, well, that's the difference between an artistic personality and a logical one, you know? So hello, everybody. I'm sorry it took me a little bit longer to get here today. Mark has, in this beautiful weather, has gone out for a nice long bike ride. And so now I'm here and ready and excited to talk with y'all. So I'm so glad you can hear me. Alberta, how wonderful. Let me get my glasses on because I am anxious to see who's here. All right, Miss Marcia. And Miss Marcia, thank you again for being a moderator today. And Debbie, yes, Debbie, we had such fun, everybody. We did a Jitsi yesterday, a 3-hour one too, and it was a lot of fun. So I've told the members of the group, you have the you're not late again. I just got here. Okay, you have the link to the Jitsi anytime you want to go in and chat. I found it so good. It just lifts your spirits to sit and chat and put names to faces. And hello, Miss Jody, Alberta. It's so good to see you. How's Southern Maryland doing, hon? And then Cheryl Hogan. Charlene Piper, glad to see you. We've got a full fun day ahead of you here. And yesterday, because we did the Jitsi, I made the entire Easter project. And if anyone wants to have the pattern for the Easter project, it's like a crazy quilt, but it's something else. You'll get to see it in just a minute. But if you want this free pattern that I did on my EQ8, I will be glad to send it to you. Just send me an email at OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com. And hopefully I did that right because I didn't have my glasses on. And, but anyway, this is the pattern. I have been saying make 9 of them. I had to make 10. And in saying 10, I kind of made mine a bigger maybe than the original I was thinking about. But you know me, if the more bling, the more excitement, the more fun, the better. But anyway, but I would make 10 of these. And it's paper piecing. And I went ahead and made all the blocks because I was having fun making them. But also, I thought, I've taught y'all paper piecing plenty of times. But it also, Southern Maryland is a little cold and windy today. And you're retired. Yay! Yay for retirement. It feels great. I love being retired. Yesterday was like a retreat from home. Oh, that's what, exactly. You can be in the comfort of your home, but still chat with everyone. So I hope to be on next Saturday again. And anybody who wants to join in, and you have to be a member of our group, which is anybody can become a member, or just send me your name and I'll send you the link and you can sit and chat with us. How many people did we have yesterday? I think we had 7 maybe. So it was very, very, very nice. So today it's actually beautiful. It's probably only going to get to about 70, in the 60s to 70, but the sun is shining and spring is busting out all over. I'll have to go around the yard this week and take some pictures to show you because I just love spring. You know, that's when life renews itself. And how lucky are we? So I will show you what this project is going to be today. But, another thing I was thinking about. I need to get back my Adobe program, but I'm thinking of doing a series of basic skills like paper piecing, so that anytime you're doing something and you're like, how did that go yet? You'll be able to go right to my video list. These will be videos. You'll be able to go right to the video list and say, now, how did she do the binding, and how did, she do reverse applique, or whatever the subject is. I'm going to start doing specific subjects, and that's all the video is going to cover. And that way you can get in, get out, kind of renew your memory. Because if you haven't paper pieced in 6 months, sometimes you kind of have to start over again. But anyway, all right. So I am so glad for everybody who is here. Last Sunday, I begged out, and I do apologize. But by the time the grandkids and my son and his wife left, Mark and I were worn out. I have a complaint to make to the mechanical department. When you get to be my age, which is almost 66, the brain and the emotions and all that are running beautifully. Couldn't be better. But the body starts to fall apart. Somehow, when I was in my 20s, I was dumb as dirt. But now I've gotten smarter. But now my body is just failing me. So, we were worn out, and I thought, I just can't do a show today. And because I do have to get ready, I usually spend 3 hours just on Sunday preparing for the show. And that's with doing some of the work the day before or during the week. So thank you so much. I will check your photo. Hi, Linda McCollum, honey. It's so good to see you. So anyway, we had a wonderful, while I'm talking to you, I'm going to go look for her photo. But we had such a wonderful time with the grandkids. And, it was wonderful. But I tell you what, babies are for the young people. Oh my gosh, it is exhausting. It's fabulous, but exhausting. I had all my children, and I started in my early 20s and had my last at 30. And you know what? That was a good thing for me because now, oh my gosh, it is running after them and just picking them up. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're heavy. So, but they were wonderful, and their parents are such good parents. And it's just wonderful. So I'm looking for Miss Linda's picture because, I got it. This is great. Thanks for telling me, because usually I check, but it's like sometime before noon. So thank you. This is, Linda. That is exquisite. Maybe Linda can join us for Jitsi and do a teaching session in it. Do you think, Miss Linda, you might sometime be up to, like, I'm looking at your bullions. I'm looking at your wonderful, they look like yo-yos, but the way they're creased are so beautiful. I bet you the rest of you would like to see what I'm looking at. I will make sure to show it for our show and tell because it is simply beautiful. But oh my gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful to have such a talented woman teach us this? So we'll have to talk, Linda. Let me get this into the folder real quick, and then I can come back to y'all, because right now I can't see y'all. Y'all could be acting up terribly and I wouldn't even know. Don't I sound like a substitute teacher that I was? All right, that is just beautiful, Miss Linda, and I can't wait to show everybody. So you're learning over again. I tell you what, that is the best thing about doing the hand embroidery. Thank you, Alex Anderson, for inspiring us. And see, that's why I love the generosity of everyone on YouTube. And so many people put out great ideas. I've had people say, I can't be as busy as you. How do you do all of it? Well, it's just that I'm not, it makes, that's why I have so many UFOs. Let's face it. Well, that's not the main reason. The main reason is I'm a squirrel. I get so distracted by a new project, and I have over 100 UFOs to finish. So I better get busy. But anyway, I just looked down, and my rotary cutter was open. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. I can show you what happened. Do you see this? I'm so lucky. It's just small now. In fact, it's funny how skin will pull together and kind of shrink, because it was over 1/2 inch when it first happened, but it's kind of pulled in. And in fact, Mark wanted me to keep a bandage on it, so I better, and don't tell Mark, but he has a container of Good and Plenty's upstairs, and I was just up there and I grabbed one. So, and you know what's funny? I don't like licorice, but the real Good and Plenty's, oh my gosh, they're good. So anyway, plus I went to my doctor's visit on Friday, and yes, I've gained weight, and my A1C, which was in the pre-diabetic range, is now just creeped into the diabetic range. So I'm going to be taking walks. I'm going to be monitoring what I eat. It's going to be a whole lot more broccoli and cauliflower raw, So, but girl's got to do what she's got to do. Okay. That Good and Plenty's really good. Okay. One, right? But yesterday when I finished the Jitsi, I had a pile of fabric sitting right in front of me here at the desk. And I had my rotary cutter upside down with the safety lid off, like this. And this is a sharp one. And I went to reach something and put my hand right down on the blade. Well, let me tell you, it hurt so bad. I had visions of having sliced my skin up the bone, because it hurt that bad. Normally when I get cut, I don't feel it for quite a while, but I felt that one right away. I was almost afraid to look at it, because all I could think of is I don't want to go to the emergency room. But when I did look at it, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Thank goodness. So, number one, don't keep your rotary cutter leaning up like this. Put it facing down. And please always close it. How many times have I heard people say, close your rotary cutter every time? That is so true. In fact, Jody, how is your finger doing? Jody really cut hers badly. How is I know it was a while, but yeah. And Sonia's here, and Mary's here. Got to see Mary for the first time yesterday. Laura is here. Wonderful. Oh, it is so good to see y'all. But anyway, please be careful with rotary cutters. I know better. I knew better, but sometimes you get excited and Polly's here. You get excited and you forget, but please be careful. So I can scratch that off my list of things to tell you. Okay. I'm almost finished cleaning the room. I'm so excited. All of my mini bolts of fabric that I had lined down the 8-foot counter, and they were like 7 or 8 bolts deep along the 8-foot counter, are put away now. I'm so proud of myself. So I still got the nitty gritty, the looking and going, why is that bag on the floor? What's in it? Let's find a place for it. Because, with me, things tend to start gathering. And it's like, why is that there? Don't know. So, but I feel really, really good. Because, like I told you, every time I start a project, I go pulling fabric like a crazy woman. And then I go from one thing to another so fast that I don't have the time to always clean up after myself. But I'm going to try. But Christmas was so busy. How about a protective glove? Yes. Like this one that I got last year. Because remember last year I cut myself with my scissors twice. So I do have this right here. At the time, I didn't think I was doing anything dangerous. I thought I was just reaching into the fabric pile. And I didn't realize that the rotary cutter was in the fabric pile. So please be careful. And yes, those protective gloves are wonderful. Because, it did hurt, but it's more than that. At this age, it's going to an emergency room or urgent care clinic and having to sit there and then having to get stitches and then having to go back, then having to go to the pharmacy to get the prescription. I mean, it's like, come on. So that's why, that's the main thing that went through my head is you don't have time to go get it sewn up. So I'm real lucky, but I'm going to learn from that. So, but I put my fabric away. See, I've got my notes. And oh boy, we've started our new Art Quilt Thursday project. Then I've got some repurposed fabric I wanted to show you. Then we'll work on our Easter project. I'm going to tell you about my ironing board. And then we'll talk some more. I'll remind you again about our Jitsi chat. So like a Zoom chat. And the nicest thing is I can see your face. If you want, you can leave the camera off, but I love seeing who you are. And but you'll also get to talk. No one has to type. It's wonderful. So we'll do it next Saturday again. I might make it 11 o'clock Eastern time because it's hard. Sometimes I'm up till 3 in the morning. I don't know what gets to me, but got your Easy Crazy Quilt fabric picked up. Yay! You weren't going to say anything. Oh, about a protective glove? Oh, Jody's healed. You can count to 10 again? Oh, gosh. But anyway, so 11's better for you? Yes. Okay, let's do it at 11. It'll give me a little kind of time because I last week I fell asleep 3:30 a.m. and then had to get up by 9 so I could try to get down here to do the Jitsi, and I was a little bleary. So, okay, let me show you real quick. Well, I'll show you this too. And then I'm going to give you a little teaser of our Art Quilt Thursdays and show you how easy it is to cut amazing curvy lines. Okay? So now this is what I made this one myself, but this is what I made with my grandson when he came last week. And I took a paper plate. You can tell I did daycare for years, can't you? But I took a paper plate, one little paper plate, then another one. I wish I had had the bigger ones, but we didn't. And then what I did is this one, I cut off each side in an ear shape. The leftover piece I stapled down here to be like a place for a bow tie and then put ribbon. And then I hot glued some pipe cleaner whiskers, put a little puffy ball nose, and then eyeballs were buttons. And I did do some marker coloring with my grandson. And if I were to put moisture on this, I think it would kind of bloom the color. But anyway, we made these. Just have it, the oldest is 3, and the youngest is 1. So keep the project short. But he loves, oh my gosh, he loves project. He'll sit for the longest time. And I just stapled, I stapled the little ears and the little bow tie on. So I just thought I would show you. Inexpensive, easy stuff I had around the house. Easy peasy. Oh, while I'm showing you stuff, Mark this week, the company he works for, they're really thoughtful at things. And so they had an attendance banquet, but because of the whole COVID thing, what they did is you could drive by. They would give you a really nice meal, nice dessert box from a very posh bakery. And then they gave him a beautiful bouquet of flowers, which I promptly snatched him out of his hand because they were going to be mine now. And I made sure we wrote a thank you note because the flowers were gorgeous. Hydrangea, the blue snowcap hydrangea, roses, freesias, Gerber daisy, chrysanthemum. I mean, I was amazed at this big bouquet. I wanted to bring it downstairs, but we've got it in a big, heavy vase. But this is the plasticized kind of paper thing that the flowers were wrapped in, and there's no hole. They didn't pierce it or anything. This is fascinating, and I want to figure out what to do because it's pretty sturdy. I think I could sew on it. So it's got a beautiful rose gold edge. So, you know me, I want that. So I'm saving that. Then here was the ribbon that was, one of these was on the flowers, probably this one. And then this one was on the bakery box of goodies. So then the bakery box goodies and the flowers were carefully put into this bag. And you might be able to figure out what company he works for. It's the big parent company, not Frito-Lay. But this is the coolest bag. It says washable paper. You can wash this paper carefully. The dessert, let me tell you. Okay, and it was from someplace downtown, Bobby something. But this bag is so cool. It's a paper that almost feels like a real heavy canvas fabric. And then it's got the wonderful linen tape handles. So guess what? I said, I want that one too. So, because this is just awesome. Nice and sturdy. So I save that stuff and I reuse it. And in fact, the bakery box, we broke that down because when I went to my retreat the other week, I used a bakery box and put my homemade brownies in and took it. So I'm going to use that one for the same thing. Okay. I was a mom my whole life. I got married young, had babies young. So I can't tell you. I know there was a lemon tart. A beautiful lemon custard and tart shell. Then there was this orange thing that he said was kind of custard on top of a piece of cake with raspberry, like some kind of raspberry sauce on it. They were beautiful. They didn't look like you're supposed to eat them. And then there was this long thing that was like a mocha chocolate. It tasted like coffee. And it was, about this high and had these pretty little flowers piped down the center with some kind of ganache and then a chocolate decoration on top. And then the other one was something like a chocolate, but I'm not sure. Now, here's where I'm going to tell you the truth. That was really fancy, but I'm not one on fancy desserts. And I had made a lemon cake with lemon buttercream icing. I always use the box mix and I add whatever flavor, but I make my icing from scratch. I said, you can have all the desserts. I'll have my lemon cake. So, I'm not a fancy girl. What can I say? But it was a really, really nice thing for them to do. And we were real happy. So, and I didn't have to cook, and he just drove there, and they stayed in the car. They chatted with different workers he hadn't seen for a while, because he now has been working from home for 2 years. So, all right, moving on. Let me see. Alberta said, you've made 2 more quilts in the past couple weeks. That's wonderful. Send us photos if you can. You're doing cross-stitch patterns. Oh, that's wonderful. And you're stitching. I love that you're working as you watch this. That makes me happy. And also, Alberta, try to join us on Saturday at 11 a.m. for the Jitsi chats. And then that way you can show us stuff and talk. So this is my first, not really my first, but my first really good job of recycling, repurposing fabrics. And this was a beautiful robe that Mark went for his first marriage. He had this, I guess they took it on their honeymoon, but let's just say it doesn't fit anymore. And we're not robe people. I mean, I'm not sure where he would wear a robe. So it is 100% cotton. It's really nicely made. It was bought from an expensive store, but I sat and took out every seam. And then I ironed them to perfection. And let me see, this is probably a sleeve. So I'll show you. But I think I probably got about 2.5 yards of fabric now out of this. And it's kind of a chambray where the weft is blue thread and the warp is white, but it's very, it's just a really nice fabric. So this is enough fabric that it will be the background fabric for a quilt. So I just couldn't bear to throw it away. I mean, I saved little plackets. This was probably a cuff. I even saved little button plackets, and they had like piping on pockets, and I saved all that. So I have all these pieces, and I ironed them really good. And now I'll put this in my closet with my other backing fabrics, and that I think that's got to be about 2.5 yards of fabric. So I'm really proud of myself. I know there are probably a zillion of y'all out there that already do it. I always admire those of you who cut your scraps into prescribed sizes and stuff. I'm amazed at that. My scraps get just shoved in a bag. So, but you know what? I'm starting to appreciate scraps more and more because today's project used scraps. So now I showed you the repurposed fabric and almost finished my room. All right. And today I had some fun. I put in some orders between yesterday and today. And thank goodness for the first of the month when I get paid. And so I put in an order for indigo. What do they call it? Partially reduced, part reduced, or something like that, indigo. And I already have the soda ash here. So that's all I need is those 2 things. And then I'm going to end up going to Lowe's and getting a 5-gallon bucket with a nice fitting lid. And that will be what I use to do the dyeing. because you can keep it a little while, and but you have to keep the air out of it. So you got to get a good fitting lid. But anyway, so I ordered the indigo. Then I said, well, I'm going to need some more prepared for dyeing fabric. And Mark rolls his eyes. But I found through today, Missouri Star Quilts, if you buy 5 yards of fabric, and they let me buy 2 different types, and as long as it added up to 5, I got 20, I think it was 25% off. Pardon me, 25% off. And so I'm so excited. What I did is they have the PFD, prepared for dyeing fabric, in the 108 widths. So I added, I did the math. Okay, 2.5, because I roughly figured 2.5 wide is how many, per yard of that, you get the equivalent of 2.5 yards of 45-inch fabric. I said, ooh, that's cheaper. And then with the 25% off, because I looked everywhere to find the best price on the PFD fabric. And I almost was ready to buy it from Dharma and Greg. God, that was a TV show. Dharma Trading Company, where I get my dyes. Almost bought it there. But then I checked it email and it said, oh, fabric 5 yards. So I went and did the math and went, oh, I'm going to Missouri Star Quilts. So I ordered 3 yards of the 108-inch wide, which should give me 3 times 2.5, which is 7.5 yards equivalent of prepared for dyeing. And then to make it, to make sure I had 5 yards, I added 2 1-yard normal size pieces, because I didn't want to spend for 5 yards of the 108 wide. And because I had this, got to keep it at $50, So anyway, but I'm excited. So that got ordered. The dye got ordered. Is there anything else? Oh, my ironing board cover is looking shabby. And I do everything here. And you're not even going to be able to see it as bad as it really is, but it's pretty shabby. But this is where I paint. I do almost anything here, because usually I'm doing it in front of the camera. So I looked around I love the Teflon coated silver ironing board fabric. And so I found it at Joann's, and I think they even, they had a coupon for 25% off that too. So I got 2 yards of the ironing board fabric. I thought there was something else. Oh, I got a grapevine wreath for next week's Easter project. So I got that grapevine wreath, and that might have been that. Oh, and some ribbon, and a little spool of ribbon. Because next week I'm going to show you how to take inexpensive materials and make a really pretty Easter decoration. So, and I already got the notice, hey, I do curbside pickup because I'm too cheap to pay for shipping. So I'll go up and pick that up. It's already ready. All righty. But anyway, somebody had asked me to do something about an ironing board. How do you make your giant ironing board? And so I will be filming that and show you. It's just a big piece of plywood, and I'll show you what kind of batting I put on, because that's important, what kind of batting you put on and how much. You want it slightly cushioned, but you don't want it too soft. And I'll show you how I put the fabric on, renew it, and all of that. So that was it you, Laura? Okay, so I will be doing that for you. All right, then I think first let's go to the stack of fabrics there and show you how easy. I'll give you a little hint, because I'm hoping I can entice you over to our Art Quilt Thursdays. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do curved piecing, and people will think you are so talented. All right. So here is the piece that I've been working on. And let me grab this. All right. Get this here and get my dangerous rotary cutter. But here we go. Yesterday, I put one more piece on to show the people who were with us for Jitsi. All right. Let me turn my iron on so that's ready. Okay, what color am I going to use next? Well, I didn't mean to do that. And it's good to keep some kind of marker handy. I might try this. Okay. Now, yesterday, I was thinking, how in the world do we do this? Because I get confused with right side up and wrong side down and all of this. But I think I've now figured how to do this. I put this, whoops, let me tilt it down and give you, let me see if this extra lighting might help. But I put this fabric right side down, okay? Pretty side down. Then I take this fabric where I want to do my next curvy cut, and I line up with this, leaving enough here to do a curvy cut, but not to waste it, okay? All right, now, there is a way I'll show on Thursdays, the other way where you can save more fabric. All right, so I'm feeling where the edge of the below fabric is. Oops, let me pull this down. Got to keep the tops even. But I'm just going to go along here and feel the edge of the other fabric. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a freehand curved cut through both layers of fabric. And I think I've got this worked out. So let's see. Rob Appel, Jean Wells has a most wonderful tutorial on this curved cutting and piecing. But Rob Appel gave me some great advice. He said, start your cut and do a straight cut for 1 inch. That is so smart, because when it comes time to sew those pieces together, you will definitely see. Now, let me turn this board around. Pardon me. All right. The thing you want to do is keep some fingers up here. Keep some fingers up here to hold the fabric so that when you run the cutter down, it will lay flat, okay? Making sure, just lay it flat. Fabric likes to hold on to it, another piece of fabric. So I'm just going to make sure I've got that cut. Then I'm going to and I'm making sure that I'm trying very hard not to cut the same shape as I did last time. All right, let me move this forward so you can see where I'm going to finish. Let me put my glasses on. Oh, boy, I can see again. All right, got it cut good there. All right, so now, oops, didn't quite get it fully cut through. I'm kind of cutting at an odd angle. And remember I told you I have a sheet of instructions where I learned from the people who know what they're doing. And they said to make sure, that you cut standing up if there's any question that you'll make a nice clean cut. because, you know, especially this piece is like 20 inches long. And that's a lot to cut sitting down. But I think that the Martelli cutters are so ergonomic that they're pretty darn easy. All right, so now this should be right. Let's see. So I move this over, lay this, and it should match. But it doesn't match. Well, you know what? Maybe this, I bet you, matches. I'm trying this because I thought about it, and I thought about it. Okay, let me see. Does this match? No, this one doesn't match either. All right, so I really thought I had it this time. I thought I had the right edge, the correct edge. Now I'm wondering, look, see, it mimicked again. I will never be able to figure this out, so I'm not going to worry about it. This is what I'm going to do then. I'm going to turn it around with this edge. I'm going to keep this curve because that's a real pretty one. Maybe you'll use it again. So what I'm going to do, I tried, Jody. I tell you the truth, girlfriend. I get so turned upside down. So I'm going to show you the way Jean Wells showed on one of hers, and it's worked every time for me. What I'm trying to do now is line them up so there's just 1/4 of an inch from the edge of this to the narrowest part of this. Then I will come in here with my marker. It's just a chalk marker, and I will run right along that edge that I cut. All right. Now, I'll pull this. You know what? It's hard. I'm going to turn off that light and see if I can see better. Yes, I can. Well, partly. Hold on. I'm just going to be very careful and freehand cut this. All right, and I will end up watching some of those teachers again and seeing how they cut 2 fabrics at once. I wasn't planning on doing it much because, like Jean Wells says, it will waste fabric, where this is a much more fabric-friendly way of doing the cut. To see all that I wasted now is just this little bit. All right, now watch. Now it will fit. There we go. So now it fits. Oh, okay, somebody going to ask a question. Hi, Mitty. Oh, you can come wash my car too. You've been ironing freezer paper on your ironing surface to keep it clean. Now, Jody, that is brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take and put this fabric, flip it right over. Okay. Lovely way to start a beautiful landscape. Yes, boy. And you watch. Polly has a question. Did you take a look at the video you sent? Oh, no, I am so sorry. I didn't. I spent so many hours on Jitsi that then I stayed off the computer so I could spend some time with Mark. But I will definitely look at that today, because I bet you you have the perfect answer. All right, I'll bring the camera down here, and let me see if I can bring the camera down like that. Let's see. cross your fingers. And what you do, the main thing you do when you're doing these curves, and you saw I just cut it freehand. How easy. Oh, Marsha, you're the sweetest thing. So what I do is I come in here and I'm not pulling or pushing. You notice it's just the fabric's barely in my hand and my hand is loose on this. All I'm doing is moving it so that it matches along the sewing line. Let me see if I can. All I'm doing is just moving it so it matches at the point I sew. Now, you don't pin, you just sew slower. And see, as I go, I'm moving this further over, but see how light I'm holding it? Because I'm not pulling it or pushing it or stopping it or anything. I'm just guiding it. And right there, it looks like I'm going over, but to get that point to match, you kind of have to go over until you get to that point. Then as you get to that point, you can come bring it back. And it's this easy. Every seam I have done, curved seam, I've done just like this, and it works out perfectly. So I'm telling you, this is the easiest thing going. And it's like, wow, I can really do this. So, and this opens up a whole world of stuff. On Thursday night show, I'm going to show you a couple artists who use a lot of impromptu improv curved piecing in their work, and it's amazing. They are real artists, and I thought I would show you. You can do this too. It is that easy. I would have thought this would be so difficult. So just keep coming down, just moving the fabric so that it lines up at the edge. And see here, it's running over my thumb is underneath, just kind of letting it rest on there. And these fingers are just pushing it. I'm not in any way holding it. Okay, so come back together. Okay. Keep making sure they stay on the 1/4-inch foot line too. Now, before when I've cut the pieces, I've thought, oh, this is never going to fit. One's going to begin. I guess you could call it a beginner's landscape, actually, because if you use the right fabrics and colors, you can create an absolutely stunning landscape with these curved lines. And that's all you would do is just sew the curved lines, and if you want to put a sunset or whatever. Now, I'm going to come, let me move just make sure that you don't iron your cutting mat. That would not be a good thing. Okay. So let me show you how well this thing irons up. All right, move my scissors, move that. All right, here we go. Well, I need my scissors back. All right. So what you do, normally when you iron 2 straight seams, you would use the side of the iron to make sure it lays over. Oh, and the other thing you do here, since some of these come kind of close together, you don't want them overlapping. That is too many layers of fabric there. So what you do is you just finger press or keep your little wooden iron handy and just run that along to make sure it's going to go the right direction. Okay. I love these. Anything like this that just gets it started for you. But you're just making sure that your seams go away from the one before it. Nope, now that light's not working. So let me turn that off. Move this lamp over here. All right. This is what I always love, because you wonder, how is that going to work? Now, instead of using the side of your iron and bumping up to it like you normally do with a straight seam, this time you want to come in with the point of your iron. And you're just gently convincing that fabric that it should go in that direction. Okay? Then once you have used the tip to go in and just nudge it into place, then come along and just do a firm, slow pressing. Now I took this fabric and I pre-starched it because I thought that would make it easier to cut and piece. And I anymore, I use starch all the time. So now for the magic, because to me, this is magical that you can take two pieces, and even though they're cut so they'll interlock, when you have to flip it right sides together to sew it, you think, how in the world is that ever going to work? Well, here we go. It worked. Now, I kind of did pretty straight here. I wish I had done a little more of a curve, but that's okay because I've got a couple more colors to go. And it'll end up, this will have another piece put on the other side of this because I only want them to be maybe 6 inches across. So, but isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And then the fun part is, what do we do once we've made our strip sets? And I will be showing you some ideas for that. All right, so there we go. It is that easy to do. And the thing that I find that is really makes it pop is to use the contrasting colors. So on this side, I'll go with a dark one again. This side, maybe a dark, maybe really pale. So isn't that fun? And it's that easy, except the cutting the curves. I only know that one way. I tried again today. Oh, well, what can you do? All right, so now it is time to look at our Easter project, and then we're going to go do show and tell. And I've got lots of pictures of myself and my grandchildren, and my granddaughter, who's 17, went to the prom last night, so I've got some pictures of her. I've got some great pictures of yours to show me what you've been working on. So I can't wait to show you. All right, so now let me move the camera back over here. Any questions? You ironed on a big cutting mat. Oh, it was on one end. Good. And I've done that before. And these cutting mats will bubble up. There are some thoughts. Can you try to save them? If it's important for you to try to save, what I recommend is you get a towel and you wet it and you wring it out. And then you lay it on top of the cutting mat and then you iron over it and get it really hot. And then have stacks of really heavy books or bricks and lay on top of the towel. It'll hold the heat in and let it slowly cool. Sometimes that can make all of the melty humps and bumps flatten back out. And you may have to try it several different times. But boy, is it frustrating. Hello, Gail Hicks. How great to see you, sweetie. It is wonderful to see you. So, anyway, okay. Now, and and I want to make sure, I told the Thursday night people, my sewing machine man said that my way of doing thread painting is awful on my sewing machine. I would leave the feed dogs up, and because I like the stress, the pressure, pushing back and forth sewing. Unfortunately, that's too much flexing on the bar that goes up and down, and it can actually elongate the opening, so then it's wobbly, and it would be very expensive and very hard to replace that arm. So I'm going to tell you, since I showed you before how I do it, I feel like it's my responsibility to tell you I was wrong. If I have to do too much thread painting, I might put it on my long arm. He said those are built with heavier parts, and I hope. And but I from now on, when I do thread painting, instead of going back and forth like this that I was loving doing because I'm so impatient, I'm just going to go one direction, turn it around, go the other direction. No more pulling and all this stuff. So just thought I'd pass the news. My new machine I got in November is now with him getting a retiming because I did really rough thread painting on it. I don't want my machines in the shop all the time. I can't afford it. So it's like, okay, calm down, take a deep breath, and just stitch one way and, and then turn it, stitch the other way. But don't do this with your fabric. All righty. So I thought I would tell you that. Also, all the information about the curvy spaces I have on a handout. And so if you belong to our group, you'll find it in the file section. But if you don't belong to our group, just send me an email at OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com, and I will send it to you, along with these pages, which will give you a template for one of the ways that I'm thinking of turning this in to what I call curvy spaces. So this page has the templates, and this would be the curvy strip set. This would be a solid. So that's Thursday night at 7:30, and we're already working on our newest thing. So now I put on our website under the files, I put today's pattern, which is like a crazy quilt patch. Yeah, we're so glad to see Gail. It's nice to see you. And so I also have this for free because I did this up on EQ8, and I love sharing. So if you want that, OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com. And this is today's Easter surprise. Oh, I have two of these sitting here. All right. Let me show you what we've got. So yesterday on Jitsi, I started doing those squares with bits and scraps of Easter fabric, what I consider Easter fabric. Now let me show you what the reveal is for this. It is a giant Easter egg. So I sewed 3 blocks across, 3 high, and then made another one for right here. These partial pieces came from the cuts that I made here. So this is what I want to show you real quickly. I took a piece of brown paper, and you know me, I'm so frugal that I patched it together to make it big enough, but I just made an Easter egg shape and just drew it whatever works. Okay, now I'll come along now with an ink pen, and I lay the pattern on top here. Let me make sure it's right. And I'll just take an ink pen because I want to be able to see the lines that I draw to make it easy to trim. So I would say if you're going to make your Easter egg this big, do 10 blocks. Right? And you just make the copies, tell your printer to copy out 10 and do 10 paper piecing blocks. All right? And then just take whatever you have to make your Easter egg shape. All right, so now it's very easy to see the line that I drew. Because this line, don't worry about it being ink pen because it's going to be in your seam allowance. So now I'll come around, but see how I just used this partial and it was fine? So I like to save time and money. So I tend to try to make projects a little easier for myself because I'm more likely to do them. And to me, I get more pleasure doing all of this than having things perfect. So now, if there were any big enough scraps to take off here and save, maybe I would, but I'll probably just toss that away. Now let me hold it up and show you. Okay. And this is going to be a table runner. Table runner, large placemat, whatever you want to call it. But see the Easter egg? And here's my paper that I traced. And you know, if you feel like you may be a little challenged with drawing, then decide how long you want your paper to be and fold it in half and just, or draw one half. If you like that, fold it, and that way your halves will be equal. Okay, so if you just draw, is there Harriet? Hi, hon. So here is our precious little Easter egg. And this is going to lay on my dining room table upstairs. Isn't that cute? So there it is. Now, I have decided how I'm going to finish it. I have my backing, just a partial piece of leftover backing, a cotton scrap of batting left over from a quilt before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backing fabric, put it right side to the egg. Then, now this is going to sound funny. It doesn't sound right, but this will go on the outside. Okay? So what I'm going to do is lay right side, the backing, right side to this right side. Then lay the batting and pin it, 5 inches each direction. And then I'm going to sew it around the edge, leaving about a 6-inch opening down here. I'm going to turn it inside out, press the edges. Really good, nice, sharp edge. And then I'm going to bring it to my sewing machine, my domestic. And what did I hear? I found this beautiful pink rayon thread that I think will look really pretty on it. Okay? And then I will quilt it. Since it's a crazy quilt, I probably won't do any unusual or heavy decorating. I'm not sure exactly what I would do. Oh, good. Yeah, see, because that way, using these leftover bits of curved pieces saved me from having to do yet another block. So I can see by looking on the camera, I needed some more orange down here. If it bothers me too much, I'll hand applique a piece of orange. But isn't that funny that all of a sudden I had orange down here, but I trimmed it off. So when you're doing yours, you might want to keep that in mind. But anyway. But yeah, you could hand stitch it, and I have to take out all the paper. But what I'm going to do first is go ahead and stitch it with the backing and the batting. Stitch it on first, then take off the paper, because you are bound to have plenty of biased edges that you want to have sewn in. But isn't that cute? And it just takes scraps, little leftovers, and then I'll be able to put it on my table and put a little basket on top of it with green grass, and there you go. And then next week, I'll have one more Easter project for you. So if you have plastic Easter eggs, and if you have some acrylic paint, and either a straw wreath or grapevine wreath, then bring those to Sunday, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Also, if you have little popsicle sticks or paintbrushes and, anything like that. All right, so now it is time for your photos. Any questions before we go to the photos? I was hoping you'd like it. I saw a picture of it somewhere, probably on my Pinterest, and I said, we could do that. That's pretty simple. And you just use your pattern, draw around it, and cut off the excess. I like it, like it, like it. All right. So any questions? It's just fun. I love making Easter things. And you know what? If it takes less than a day to make, and then forever, every Easter, you get to pull out these cute things and put them out. I mean, then it becomes magic, you know? And that's why I kind of like these little things. Some of the bigger, these are the past 2 weeks, and I have free patterns for those. So let me know if you would like those free patterns. I'm going to go ahead and type in our email address. And any of you who've asked me for patterns will know I'm pretty darn good at sending them out right away. Absolutely. You could use this very same. In fact, Linda, that's a wonderful idea. Can you imagine doing a leaf and using all the myriad of fall colors? That would be gorgeous. You know, you could even, well, I was trying to think, could you make it into a watermelon shape or beach ball for summer? I mean, you know, there's just anything you could do. There. Now, Mary, you're being way too practical. That is so cute. That is so cute. All right. So, anything. I hope I didn't miss anybody or miss any questions you have. And I really appreciate it, especially if you can write things in a nice bold. It helps me know, ooh, you're trying to get my attention. So that is great. I know, Mary, you're so funny. Although, guess what? You have to pay $1.25 now for each thing. My daughter said, it's gone up to $1.25. And I thought, that's kind of a jump. How about $1.10 first? Work, you know, give us a little time to get used to the fact that you have to raise your prices. How can you see pictures? Okay. All you have to do is sit there and look at whatever you're looking at. So if you can see my face, you can see the pictures. And the pictures are prettier. So let me turn off the lamp and let's go see what you have been doing. All right. My son came last week and he said, have you learned the new OBS system yet? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. He said, no, I'm not going to throw any shade on you. I know what it's like to be busy. I was like, thank you. Because I get nervous about that stuff. All righty. Oops. It would be nice if my camera was, let me try to crank it back a touch. All righty. We're going to get into this. Sorry about all of that, but we're going straight to the pictures. All right. Now, let's see, you become a member of our group and we can put a folder in with your name and you send me pictures and I'll share them with everyone. Because we love seeing your work. This is Miss Betty Middleton, and she is from Florida. And look at this. Is that just exquisite? I love that. Very talented woman. Okay. Oh, look at this. I need to go back and finish mine. That is lovely. Just lovely. Okay. Now, let me see. Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Miss Charlene Lawson and her wonderful St. Patrick's Day door hanging. I love that. And she's busy working on a couple different projects. She's doing Alex Anderson's hand embroidery and the block of the month, the current one. All right, here is Charlene Piper's work. And boy, is it lovely. Now, this is what we were just talking about. Taking the curved piecing and making a wonderful landscape out of it. I loved how she cut the yellow and made it, showed it that it was the reflection on the water. Also, you might notice my mouse bobbling a bit. My hand gets shaky sometimes, but it hadn't fallen off yet. So here is a wonderful piece she did. It looks like it's right out of the 70s or the 60s. Isn't that great? And this wonderful cabin by the lake. I love that. And there is a nice patriotic table runner. I love sawtooth stars. And then look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I love her colors. And her grandchild. Oh, gosh, is that cute. She made that costume for that grandbaby. So thank you, Miss Charlene. And I want everybody to send me pictures of your work, and I will show them on Sunday because we love seeing them. I love Rapunzel letting her hair down in the castle. That is so cute. And here, look at this wonderful scene. Looks like out of a children's fairy tale. Here's the eagle she did while she was recuperating. She's now mobile. We're so tickled for her. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? She captured the strength of that eagle. Oh, here's another. This is another photo of it. I love the hibiscus flower and the feathers. I mean, it's just, I love the way she chose her fabrics. And I can't wait to see another picture of this. This is going to be her dragon. This is the outline of the dragon she's going to have. And she's going to wire it so that it stands proud of the surface. I love all of the creativity that you all show. Very talented group of ladies, for sure. Okay. Let me see. Oh, this is Edwin East's wonderful sunflower quilt. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Go back. Oh, here we go. All right. Jeannie, I just love this. In fact, I think I saw this somewhere. I said, that's where she got the pattern. And I love that she took a floral and outline stitched and gave it life, brought it to life with this vase. Way to go, Miss Jeannie. Okay, let's see who else. Miss Jody. She is working on the quilt show block of the month, and oh man, she showed me the next one, the drawing from the next one coming up. Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. I admire anyone who's doing that. That is a lot of work. And then this is off her design wall. I think it was a Christmas project in the making. So I love it. And I'm not going to tell you and ruin the surprise. But she's thinking about the next, how do you want to say it? The next scary character in her series. And you are going to love it. If she does it, you're going to love it. But I'm not going to ruin her surprise. So if you want to find out, join us on Jitsi and she will show you. Here is Linda's photo that she sent. Is this amazing or what? Oh my gosh, I assume those are bullions. That is amazing. Then how does she get, I thought these were yo-yos, but I'm not sure how she got them to fold like they're folding. This is just exquisite. The work in here is absolutely amazing. And then I don't know if she's working these ring rings around like a little plastic ring, but oh my gosh. So maybe we can talk her into coming to our Jitsi and explaining how she does these things. But that is exquisite work, Miss Linda. True artist work. And then, since we're here, I love this mouse that she felted. I just think it's the cutest thing. All right, let's see who is next. Miss Mary. Miss Mary has two things she sent me this week. And look at this beautiful. It's a small quilt, like a wall hanging. Isn't that beautiful? And then she did a seasonal, wonderful St. Patty's Day wall hanging. Love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. Thank you, Miss Mary. Oops. All right. Who is, whoops, no, I want to go back to this. All right, where's Mary? Okay, Melanie. I love, this is Melanie's husband's latest quilt. Is that extraordinary? I love it. That is so 3D. You would know an engineer would be drawn to that pattern. That's wonderful. There he is himself with his grandson teaching them how to run the machine. My grandson loves working on sewing machines too. Anything mechanical. And then look at this beautiful embroidered placemat that Melanie did. Isn't that beautiful? So thank you, Miss Melanie. Mitty, I don't know if I'll ever take this down. I know that every couple times I need to change out, but this whale makes me so happy. I love certain pieces just really tickle me to no end. So thank you, Mitty. I smile every time I see it. And shouldn't that be what things are about? Yeah, we'll have some things that challenge us, but sometimes we just want something to make us smile. Here's Miss Nadine's peace candle. As always, we are keeping the Ukraine in our hearts. And then look at Miss Nadine on her big, beautiful horse. His name is Fred, but she nicknamed him Big Red, and I can see why. He is gorgeous, just like our Miss Nadine. Look at this. She's doing dressage training. Isn't that amazing? That is just beautiful. Thank you, Miss Nadine. We will take pictures of Big Red any day and you any day. That was wonderful. Now let me, Miss Polly. Yeah, she was working on something. Look at this. Lovely, Miss Polly. She's learning to do machine applique. And try to remember when you're looking at her work, she is a relatively new quilter. I know it doesn't look like it because of some of the things she does, but she's just a natural talent, and that's beautiful, hon. Beautiful. And then look at this. Isn't that cool? And I love the looks of the bubbles in the fabric and the bubbles in the background. Isn't that awesome? There's such movement in that quilt. Okay. I think that's all except for mine. So let me go to my folder. And today, and okay, here we go. Grandbaby time. I am so excited. I had not seen the grandbabies for 10 months, and I had missed them, but luckily by doing FaceTime, they knew exactly who I was. I also order books for them and have them sent here first, and then I read them on video. I make them on video for them, and they love that. And here, this is Russell, and my little dog Blossom loved those babies, and he loved her too. There he is, my Mr. Russell, just turned 3. They're in my sunroom. This is little Mr. Donnie, and he's 19 months, cute as a button. Okay, and the next one is my Mark playing with Donnie, and I love that. Look at that. And it's wonderful. Mark never planned on kids, but he is a wonderful grandpa. And there's Russell working on playing. What we did is we did a safety, putting everything that was dangerous up, and we left plenty of things that they couldn't hurt down, so that they felt like they could just come in and play. There's my son holding the younger one, Donnie. My son, Christopher, he's the drummer. There we all are. This is my wonderful daughter-in-law, Nikki. This is Russell, me, Donnie, and my son, Christopher. I was the happiest Nana. And here's Grandpa playing with Russell. They accepted him, no problem. I love that. I just thought this picture was so beautiful. It was Donnie looking out the front door, and that shadow look, I just thought that was gorgeous. Then here is my 17-year-old granddaughter and her friend, and they went to prom last night. Love everything pink. Isn't that cute? Even the hair. So that's my granddaughter. Here she is. This is my daughter, granddaughter, grandson, and my granddaughter's friend. There they are, my daughter and my granddaughter together. My daughter went over and did her hair. There she is. I love it. I love the little glitter makeup on the cheeks. She was having a fun time. Very creative. Then these are, just thought because it is spring, I would leave these cute little lamb photos. My other daughter raises sheep, and this time of year is always so special. New babies. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week. But please remember, we would love to see your work. You don't have to be a member of our groups IO. Just send me an email to OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com, and I will show them on Sunday. So let me get back to y'all now. Oh, move down that. Okay. There you go. Picture of Donnie looking out the door. Wouldn't that? I thought of you when I took that picture. I said, Jody would know how to do this. So, it was an exciting day. So, and in fact, Nikki, my daughter-in-law's birthday was yesterday, and they're musicians. And so they were actually playing an event. And, but happy birthday, Miss Nikki. And my daughter's birthday is coming up this week. So I already sent off a little gift for her, something that she enjoys. So Pink is a sweet color. She does cosplay. In fact, she's in a musical. I'm going to go see her this coming Friday in the musical. And very talented girl. So I'm so lucky. And boy, don't I know it. So, and Mark and I are second time arounders. And he never wanted kids, but he has been such a gift to my kids. And I'm lucky. All right, everybody. Any questions you have to ask me? Any more questions about the Easter quilt or how I'm going to go about finishing it? And the reason I'm going to do the pillowcase or envelope style, that's soon. Yep, and a day after my daughter's birthday. I felt like this wasn't big enough to be worth the trouble of binding. So that's why I'm just going to sew it like an envelope, turn it inside out. Then I'll do a top stitching around it and some quilting in the middle and call it good. But after this show, I get the fun of sewing the backing and the batting on the back, then going upstairs and sitting in my chair and watching a YouTube or something show and pulling out the paper, which is always fun for me. The little blue circles are cast on bullion S. Oh, well now, oh my goodness. You're going to have to show us, Miss Linda. You're going to have to show us that. Bullion STS. So are they little paper circles or, ooh, now I'm curious to know. Oh, thank you, Alberta, sweetheart. Thank you. So, but I don't know. I love this time of year. You see the Easter things up there that I already did, and it's just fun. I love hanging things up and celebrating. So, and Mary wants to know, Linda, do you mean casting on like a knitting needle? No, just cast on instead of, oh, okay. That your stitches are so impressive. Miss Linda's work. Let me show you something. Hold on, guys. Let me show you this. I keep this here all the time because I'm just in awe of it. This is one of Miss Linda's work. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And look where she did little stitches on top of the lace, the little pink centers, little rosebuds or pink centers. But isn't she so talented? And this past year was the year I said, I want this to be the year that I learn to embellish. And thank you to all of you. I'm learning how to embellish, and what fun that is. So, but this is just to show you a little bit of Miss Linda's work. It's pretty darn amazing. Okay. All right. Well, this week I have promised myself to exercise. So you can help. Next week, ask me, how did my exercise go? And that'll keep me honest. Because you know what? I do so many things. But take care of my health, sometimes I'm not good at. So I need a little encouragement to either exercise on my elliptical trainer or just get outside and walk in the beautiful weather. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. And the circles are just as you thought. Okay, fantastic. Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so we will be doing a Jitsi next Saturday. And if you need a link to join us and chat, send me an email to OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com. I think I did. Did I end up writing? I think I did. And that would be absolutely wonderful. I hope I did. I'm going to go ahead and just write it just to make sure. And yes, thank you for the moderators. Our Time to Quilt. I miss Cindy today. I hope she's okay. I know she had been a little under the weather. And for any of you that are fighting any little problems or health issues, please know that I keep you very close to my heart. I've been there, I've done that, and I send you all the good thoughts I possibly can. All right? Take care. Oh, yes, if you wouldn't mind, thumbs up and tell your friends. Send them out. If you think they might enjoy sitting around talking with us, please tell your friends. Thank you, everybody. I'll see some of you on Thursday night. I'll see the rest of you. I'll see some of you at Jitsi on Saturday at 11 a.m. And I'll see the rest of you next Sunday. Take care. Get out and enjoy this beautiful sunshine. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.